This is the incredible little Zowie box from Zowietek, and it is an encoder and decoder, and I am very impressed, so much so that I bought one, and then having used it I bought another one. So what does it do? Well, basically it will encode your HDMI signal and send it out to two different streams. It will send out NDI, HX, HX2 and HX3 if you wish it to, and when it receives HX, NDI, HX or anything else like that, it will decode it back into a HDMI signal. So in my case I am going to use two of these to input NDI into my OBS software or vMix software, and I will use two of them to output to 4 different destinations, because you daisy chain input into the one end, it loops out with HDMI at the other end. I can then put that into the second box, so 2 streams can come from this box and 2 streams can come from the other box. All in all, a neat little box, and I'm finding it very, very useful. So let's quickly just run through it. So on this side you have your HDMI in. You've got a 12 volt out, which you can use in conjunction with PoE, which goes into the system, and then you can take voltage out to power something like a PTZ camera. It has the PoE connection here. Then there's USB-C, so you can power it either via PoE or by a separate power block from USB-C. I've done both. And then at the other end you have got a headphone socket, so you can monitor what's going on. You've got a line-in socket here, so you can input audio completely bypassing any HDMI source. You have got a USB socket here, and that USB socket, if you used a USB to serial 232, you could then control a non-NDI PTZ camera. So you could use a cheaper PTZ camera and control it from this box, because it will also allow control of PTZ. It's a phenomenal little toy. Then you have HDMI out, which is a loop through out, so as I say, that can go to a monitor so that you can see what you're recording, or if you're using it with a game, perhaps your game could go into this. Your game could be streaming out directly to YouTube or to 2 other sources, and you could be recording it using the little mini SD card recorder slot, which is just above the HDMI slot there. Or you can be taking the HDMI out to a monitor so you can see the game that you're playing. On this side you have the operations screen, so when it's booted up you'll see all the details of the box. So it will tell you the IP address, it will tell you what you've plugged into it and what it's outputting. So if you plug in a NTSC, so a 30 frames or a 60 frames per second item, it will output at 60 frames a second. If you plug in a PAL item, 25 or 50, it will output at 50 frames a second. But all the data comes up there, which is great. And then little icing on the cake, if you're using it as a remote camera source, there is your tally light here, and you can switch that on or off as you wish in the software controls. And tally will come red or green when you're live. And finally, at the bottom, they have a small fan and a standard thread, so you can put an adapter on that, a little hot shoe adapter, and slide that on the top of your camera. So all in all, a phenomenal little box. I forgot to mention that it also outputs SRT as well as RTMP, and that gives you a wealth of options. It will also output H.264 and H.265. What else do you want? I mean, it's a phenomenal, useful item in the studio, and I intend to use it remotely. So I've tested it so far. I've tested it remotely, sending a signal to a distant receiver, and it's absolutely bang on. The interface to use it is all online, of course. It's one of those you log into the IP address and configure the system how you want to. But once you've configured it once, it memorizes it, so you can call on those parameters should you need them again. So all in all, the Zowie box from Zowietek. I'm very, very pleased with my purchase, and as I say, I bought two.